Visual effects and special effects have been in the film industry since the late 19th century. One of the visual effects and special effects innovators was George Méliès, as seen in his film. He would cover parts of the lens to stop the light from hitting the film, so it could be later exposed with a different image, giving off the illusion that the actor had a removable head. This is one of the earliest and simplest forms of visual and special effects. Matting is used in visual effects to combine more than one image element into a single final image. This form of matting was called in-camera matting, as the process was done within the camera. Later, the bipack camera method was developed. However, this was limiting because the matte line had to be stationary at all times. Traveling mats were later developed, which meant the matte line could change. At the same time, blue screen was introduced in The Thief of Baghdad. Computers were introduced into the mix around the 1960s, where motion control blue and green screen was introduced. In the 1980s, the first digital matting and blue screening was introduced, seen in the films Empire Strikes Back and Young Sherlock Holmes. Today we still use digital methods. However, we have very advanced software. Therefore, mats no longer have to be moved in the camera or on set. They can be tracked onto the footage within a couple of minutes, which makes it a lot easier to matte than it did 20 years ago. Special effects has been in the film industry for as long as moving pictures have been made. Special effects is typically made up of explosions, car flips, smoke, etc. Filmmakers like to use special effects to this day because it gives off a more organic and genuine feel to the film, which is what most filmmakers strive for. The catch with special effects is that it costs a lot of money to produce and a lot of time to plan out.
Time is right. It's right now.
This is why filmmakers and studios prefer to use visual effects using computer-generated images or CGI to fulfill the images inside a director's or DOP's head. Visual effects are made famous by popular movies such as The Matrix, Gravity, The Martian, Godzilla, and many others. Since the film industry has moved to digital, there has been a huge effect on the way films are made and produced. The money saved from using digital production means that there's a lot more space for creativity. Motion capping and green screen are some of the most commonly used tools on set to help with visual effects and CGI production. In 1982, Tron was released as one of the first films to use digital visual effects. If compared to the more recent Tron legacy, it clearly shows the progress the film industry has made over the last 20-odd years. From using stop motion on massive sets or cloth to cover the film, to only having to use a few computers with Cinema 4D on. Because visual effects can be generated using accessible computers, it means your average consumer has the ability to produce cinema quality VFX. Nowadays, a film without any kind of visual effects is extremely rare and will find it hard to compete with most popular films.